Where am I? Like this one. Oh, right, I was going to Dragon... This is what happens. I played for like 4 or 5 days consecutively. And then happened to stop for, I think, a little over a week. This should go nice and fast now, at least. So, right now, I think my plan was to shore up my supply of dragon fangs for probably the rest of the game. But I don't remember too well, because it was a while ago. Why in the heck did that happen? Wow, I actually did that. Okay. Sure. I mean, it's good power. Where are them zombie dragons at? There's one. It's really good power. Dragon Fang. How many do I need anyway? I have 10. Goodness. This might be a while. Oh, that was the chicken knife. Super cool. This seems not optimal. Like, the Apollo Harp is nice and strong against most enemies, and I can avoid the chicken knife effect by jumping, so I think this is the best way. If I'm going to auto-battle everything, this is the way to do it. I haven't checked my sound settings or anything, which is interesting, because my kid was using my computer, so I better give that a quick check. It was using my... There we go. Okay. This isn't going to be very fun for a while. That was about as inefficient as that battle can possibly go. It's almost kind of nice that we can earn a couple antidotes and ethers as we do this. Like, those are still things I'm gonna need. I made myself a little document of things to do to prepare for Shinryu. Not Shinryu. I haven't got to Shinryu yet, but I plan to. Omega. I think Omega is reasonably attainable reasonably soon with this party. I don't know how many Dragon Fangs that would necessarily require. Not that many. I mean, if I need to mix a Goliath tonic for the Barbarian, that's one thing. And then Dragon Defense is useful. I mean, I could probably just use Turtle Shells because Dragon Defense is Shell, Protect, Regen, and Reflect. Reflect probably isn't going to matter. Regen matters relatively little, of course. We're going to need to go in with wall rings to make turn 1 safe. And also that negates risk from something. Something. Risk of... Oh, Omega has a small chance of using a Petrify move, Delta attack, I think. Does this area not have the 2 zombie dragon encounter? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I should go deeper into the dungeon. Although I don't have a quick way out, which is a bit annoying. Do 2 zombie dragons show up here? That would be grand. I think they do. Fairly soon we're going to be able to swap a couple jobs, I've noticed. It might be fun. One heck of a harp. I'd say it's nice to get antidotes. I mean, like, maybe it saves me a little bit of antidote shopping. It's not like those are worth some substantial value. Ethers kind of still are. And for that matter, any money I'm gaining, I'll probably still want coral rings. So that might, you know, that's a happy little side effect. I say that emphasizing the word happy, as opposed to sad side effects. That was Bard being mastered? What the? Okay. Or was that a level? Maybe I just am confused. And levels themselves are pretty important for Shinryu, but not so much for Omega. You just need to be able to survive the attacks, and that is challenging. But if I can nullify, like, most of the attacks, that's still gonna be happy. Okay, so I can swap these two, right? He's mastered all of our jobs except Chemist. She's mastered... I'm confused, man. Not... Wait. Not Berserker. No. The other one. What have I even got here? I need to watch my own stream to figure out my jobs. Berserker, Chemist... I guess it is Berserker. You need Dragoon and Chemist to be a Dragoon. That leaves you to be a Bard. Which you've mastered, but someone's gonna have to do it. Okay. Oh, that's pretty nice. I think we're gonna want more of the black garbs. I don't think the Dragoon's ever gonna be doing something that isn't jump. So, at least during this grindy part. It's actually kind of cool. What did I have this person equipped with? I think this. Do, 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 do. That looks pretty good. Okay, we'll need to set up our auto battle again. A little bit of micromanagement never hurt anyone. You know, I have to say that because of how my Valkyrie profile playthrough went. Really, Valkyrie profile, the combat is so simple and not exactly strategic that, like, it has to be the micromanagement that makes the game. I'm just making sure they're all going to actually gain some JP. They are. Although it's going to be really silly when Ferris masters Berserker, which is, like, momentary. I just enunciated that word very strangely, huh? What's up with that? What do these guys drop? Ethers? I moved the Hermes sandals onto the Bard because the Apollo harp damage is just so strong here that it's going to make the battles happen faster. Or at least that was the idea. I guess it doesn't matter that much. It is going to get a little strange when the Rune Axe eats up all of Ferris's MP. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. She can always use the Gaia Hammer. Yes, I like that. That's a good fight. Do, 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 do. Something in my setup is a little suboptimal, I think. I seem to be taking more turns and a little more damage since I did my switches. I could just skip Romeo's Ballad and... just have an extra attacker, because on the occasions when Bartz does bonk the enemies, if he hits an undead enemy, the Sage Staff does absolutely crazy damage. Oh, that's not that crazy. That's just... maybe we were further ahead using Romeo. Okay, so Ferris just mastered Berserker, which is great. What else does she have to do? She can be a chemist, but my chemist... Okay. At least she'll have something to gain here. Maybe it's better to have her stealing with the thief knife. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay. It's fine. I don't need to overthink this. It's not going to get worlds faster or anything. I'm saying that to reassure myself, not you. Right? Oh, my laptop moves when I wiggle. That's fun. Ah. This is being done on a laptop. I don't have a real gaming computer. Why would I? Everything working right now? Yeah. I find it a little funny that we're actually gaining levels, I think we've gained more than one level per person here, just a little more, but the leveling slows down in this game a lot. Like, I'm at an endgame capable level, really. You can go a little higher and make things easier, but people don't generally cross 50 playing this game, I don't think. I have taken teams up to 99 on multiple occasions, I think, in this game, but not for 4-job Fiestas, just for casual. Probably once on PlayStation and once on... You know what? Lena still has something to gain from being a Berserker, so she'll be the Berserker. This is getting silly now. But, you know, I guess this is bound to happen when... When what? What did I do before? When you're starting to master jobs, and Bartz has mastered everything except chemist, but so has the current chemist, so like you want to have someone in chemist and it doesn't really matter who. Okay, yeah, I think we want to get maybe 2 more Black Garb. I don't think they have radical losses over the crystal armor or whatever the heck it was. Yeah, when you start mastering jobs, you do find yourself switching a lot. Normally, this type of thing would be happening actually toward the end of the game, like at the end of the Void. That's the way I remember it anyway. I remember hot swapping jobs constantly, getting my characters to max jobs in my casual playthroughs. And my last casual playthrough was probably 20-ish years ago. Given Lena's very low MP, I might do this. The chance to Quake is just a bit of an asset. Where do you get the Thor hammer in this game? Steal from Deathclaw. Oh, found in the end zone. Okay. Well, that's probably the final area, whatever that guide's translation of it was. This is one of the really unfortunate things when there's been so many versions of this game over so much time. The naming of stuff is very inconsistent. It's funny looking at the party's current MB values, you can kind of tell who's had a turn being a berserker and who hasn't. Boy, the damage sure got bad for the Berserker after getting rid of the Rune Axe. You know what is an option, if a bit of a bananas one, is putting a harp on the Berserker. It would be fine, technically. Put the Thief Knife on the Bard and the Sage Staff on the Chemist. Sage Staff Chemist in the front row could take out a zombie dragon, I think. It sounds like there's kind of a slight grindy noise in my house. Like, did one of my kids decide to vacuum? That would be strange. No one asked them to vacuum. When does a kid vacuum without being asked? Actually, there is an answer to that, isn't there? It's after a terrible spill. Still gaining lots of levels. No one's close to mastering anything now. I wonder if I did a little bit of, like, main character bias with Bartz, which is a bit funny, because narratively he's not really much of a main character. But, I wonder if that's why he's mastered 3 jobs and no one else has. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. But Bard is just the fastest one to master out of these, apparently. Which is a bit funny, because you're like... Berserker and Dragoon are not particularly technical jobs in this game. They don't have a lot of abilities. They don't have especially good abilities. Well, these levels are going to be an asset anyway. Probably, I guess. There's like no way in the game to like buy turtle shells, right? I've been sleeping really weirdly over the last week when I haven't been playing this game. Maybe that's why. Really, it's the onset of summer. Plus, I did start playing Xenoblade X finally. And I do sort of love Xenoblade games, especially the fairly early parts of them, I find, when I'm just kind of wandering and side questing and there's not that much direction and the plot hasn't gone too sci-fi haywire and you can kind of understand things that are happening. I mean, those games are really all about setting and thus exploration for me. And 1 did a great job of it, 3 did a great job of it, X is doing a great job of it. I've never really played 2, and I know some people say that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a fantastic game. But I've also heard people be, like, really... Maybe they're just giving, like, a controversial or reductive viewpoint. But people have made it sound pretty... I don't know if I want to say the word bad or dumb. I think maybe both bad and dumb. People have made Xenoblade Chronicles 2 sound both bad and dumb to me. And from what I know about the setting, with the multiple titans being the worldscape, basically, it does sound like it's less the vibe that I've gotten from the games I've played. And Xenoblade X, well, I understood it was tenuously a Xenoblade title, kind of, compared to some of the others. There's continuity differences, in particular in the part that Xenoblade X presents itself as, like, near-Earth future science fiction, as opposed to... Well, I think I'd be spoiling it to describe it really accurately, but you could just say kind of like long time ago in a galaxy far, far away type thing. Like, it's separate enough from human existence that it doesn't seem like it's describing your reality. But Xenoblade X opens with the premise of, you are the survivors of Earth. Which is a very different flavor from Xenoblade 1 and 3. So, it feels different. Although I will say the combat, I am surprised at how much the combat feels almost exactly like Xenoblade 1. There's very few real differences from Xenoblade 1. And I don't mind that too much. There's certain things I really liked about Xenoblade 2. The dodge mechanic from Xenoblade 2 I liked. The... Xenoblade 3, sorry. The large squads were needed in Xenoblade 3. The use of tactics mattered more in Xenoblade 3, possibly because of just the size of the team. Yeah. Xenoblade 1, and by some extension Xenoblade X, almost every battle seems to be overwhelmingly determined by your level. If you're 5 levels below the enemy, your odds of success go way down. And that changes a bit at the higher levels. I'm in the 30s. I'm not that high. But the biggest difference maker in anything isn't your stats, isn't your equipment, isn't your tactics or skill, it's your level. And that's very much how it was in Xenoblade 1, and I do feel it in Xenoblade 2. Whereas Xenoblade 3, things did feel a little more dependent on your skill, your setup, your preparation. I'm gonna go later into this dungeon. I would like to be encountering groups of 2 zombie dragons. Maybe I shouldn't be using Romeo's Ballad and should instead be using Requiem. Wait, that's a thought. Or I could have Ferris using Romeo's Ballad. Oh, that damage is really bad. It's now become the normal enemies that are the problem. Okay, there's little question that the previous way was better, I think. Well, this feels foreign. Healing. How peculiar. Oh, hey. Heat wave. I don't know if I'd call it heat wave. Yesterday was just delightful weather. I spent a lot of time outside yesterday. It's nice weather here, is what I will say. I don't think anyone's been describing it as a heat wave. Although I am spending... I'm inside right now quite purposefully. It's bright and sunny, and I have to mow the lawn today, but I hate doing it in, like, the midday sun, right? So what I'm probably going to do is, you know, stay inside for a good few hours right now. Yeah, you just cut the grass. That's funny. A bit late in the day. Yeah. I really like doing it, like, after dinner, when the sun is, like, totally not out, but the grass has had lots of time to dry out. No, like, morning dew, if that's what's happening in that day's climate. Yeah. So, I'll probably mow the grass after dinner, and that'll feel fine. That'll feel refreshing. My lawn is enormous. We moved from our suburban home in lockdown times. I bet our property could be described as at least a half acre. I don't know. How do you measure acreage? That's one of those freaky measurements I don't really know. What would you say this property is? This is probably about a 200-foot by 100-foot rectangle with kind of a gigantic slope at the back, and so that's kind of annoying for mowing too. And most of it is lawn, because we're on a septic system out here, and consequently we don't really have any choice. We can't, you know, plant trees or particularly elaborate landscaping. Cut the front lawn, small, direct sunlight. Yeah. There are days when I do it early. There are days when I do it early just because that fits better or I'm expecting the bad weather. It's not some terrible thing. Evening is my preference. Plus, I've been sleeping later. Today I got up at almost 10. Which, when I was a youth, didn't sound so unusual, but now I guess it does. Yeah, I don't care what it looks like. Cut it way longer for fireflies. Yeah, I've been able to see the fireflies at my house way more this year. And because of the hill, there's actually been a section. There's this back hill, so it's not where the septic is. We did plant a couple apple trees up it. And I didn't want to cut too much around the apple trees. We sometimes get like wild strawberries growing in the hill. And so I was like intentionally leaving it long and just allowing for some growth. We don't use the space anyway because it's a significant slope. But it turns out at night recently, when you look out there, almost any night, you can see the fireflies. It's pretty cool. There was one night, because there's like open fields behind us, and we live very close to reserve land. For National Indigenous Peoples Days, they had fireworks going off. And so, like, I could see the fireworks in the distance at the top of the hill, and then all fireflies buzzing around the hill. It was like a nighttime spectacle. It was pretty great. Your front lawn versus your neighbor's front lawn. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be a lawn snob. I really think lawn as like an industry and a thing that people sometimes get fussy about is generally just weird. I don't love having lawns. I would like to have less lawn, but again, I'm sort of forced to have it. But I will say, on the occasions that my neighbors don't mow for long periods of time, it gets under my skin because I think of just, you know, the way a neighbor's property can reflect on your property value and such. I've never raised an issue, and I never would, because I don't care, and I don't like lawns, and I don't like cutting lawns. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to hold anyone to some really stupid standard that I don't believe in myself. But I do like, I like the house to look good. It only gets cut on a schedule. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think a neighbor's lawn has ever gotten so bad that I was like considering like a bylaw complaint or whatever. Maybe once at my old house actually, and that's just because we had like student neighbors who don't know anything. It was quite funny living next to these people who like, one of them wasn't even the student neighbors. They were a young guy who had never lived alone. I think he still went home to have his mom do his laundry and everything. His parents lived an hour and a half away or whatever. But what was really funny was, like, recycling day came around, and in our area, we are one of those 3-bin areas. We have garbage, recycling, and compost. And so he had this compost bin completely full of liquor bottles. And we're like, listen, buddy. And he was a nice guy. He was very appreciative for what we were saying. He was like, we had to tell him, like, you cannot compost a liquor bottle. That does not work. And he wondered why they kept not taking his bins. It's funny to think that people who lived in a certain environment had absolutely no idea of the most basic things about owning and living in a house. Like, imagine being someone in, like, your early 30s and you'd never helped your parents take out the garbage or something. It's pretty strange. Major beef with your last. I didn't even know half the shit was going on. Yeah, we've had we've had beef with neighbors. There's no question that we've had beef with neighbors, especially with the student neighbors where we used to live. There was one time when I think the last homeowner who I was talking about started subletting to large groups of students, more people than probably should have been living there. But the best thing, this is the funniest story I think I have to tell, and there are a couple, but this is I think the funniest one. I think you'll like this. Someone comes in at night. They were Uber drivers. They came in from their Uber delivery, whatever they had to do, and they had a two-door garage with a center post on a suburban house, and there's an area above the garage as well. So the center post of the garage is also supporting a room in the house. Well, they come in the middle of the driveway, accidentally take their turn too wide, and they collide with the center post of their garage. And so, like, not only is this wrecking the garage, but it has a chance of collapsing the second story of the house. So, my son and I were up late that night, and we were playing video games on our projector. The projector is mounted on a wall and, like, projecting onto the opposite wall. And we just see the image in the projector shake. So there we are in our house late at night, projector image starts shaking, and I look outside, and we start to realize, oh, I think they just smashed into their own garage. And so we watch what's happening for a bit, and what do? This is the good part. They pull their car into the garage, past the post that they've just smashed into. They pull in, they do an Austin Powers turn to get in front of the garage center post, and they back into it. They rammed the center post of their garage that was supporting a story of their house. So to fix it, they get in behind it, and they back into the post intentionally. They're like, we're going to get it right. We're just going to smash it in the other direction. Naturally. Oh. They had such nice cars, too, because of their lifestyle. It was like a really new, really sleek Beamer or something. You know how I can be with someone I've decided to not like. Goodness. I don't know, it sounds to me from some of our conversations over the last year that you may have turned a couple corners yourself, so... I'm sure that doesn't mean it's great to be a person that you don't like, but you know what I mean. The guy was just... And then, so, the last house we lived in, we had actually lived on two houses really close together. Two houses in very much the same neighborhood. And we had a different house where students were renting. And of course we were in an area where there were multiple houses around where students were renting, or some students were like buying up houses to start gaining their equity because they were living nice privileged lives, whatever it was. In a lot of cases that's fine, but you know, young people owning houses for the first time, or students owning houses, you do see certain behaviors that are kind of weird. Oh, that sucks. Whoa. There was a time we lived next to a bunch of students who were musicians. And they had friends who were bands, they had very loud parties. And that was around the time our son was born. And there was a time where we were putting him to bed in his room with his baby monitor on, when we started hearing the music playing through the baby monitor. The party next door was loud enough that the music was going into the baby's room and being picked up loud enough that we could hear the music through the baby monitor. And that was kind of a clue that, oh man, these people are rather loud. As far as I know, our son still slept well. But that was one of the things. Probably my favorite story about those neighbors was one day after a party, there was a light, fresh dusting of snow on the ground. And I walk out that morning to go to work when I see a set of tire tracks that have come up in the fresh, small, light dusting of snow. You know, less than a half inch of snow, probably. And I see the tire tracks came up onto our driveway, went directly across our lawn and onto the neighbor's driveway. I went to the house and asked them, "Did someone drive across our lawn last night?" "Well, no. What makes you think that?" I wish that story had more of a resolution, but it really doesn't because I had to get to work. But yeah, someone drove onto our driveway, realized it was the wrong driveway, and then corrected over onto their own driveway. With clear tracks showing that they did it, and they didn't think to, I don't know, do anything about it. I wonder if I have a picture of that. Like, I don't think I submitted a police report or anything. For the most part, we liked those kids. I say kids, they were sort of kids. Uh-oh, that didn't affect the zombie dragon, but that's not really a big deal. How many dragon fangs do I have? Oh, crap! I have 99 dragon fangs! I wasn't paying attention! Oh my goodness. You know, it didn't take very long, all things considered. He was just trashy, annoying, too much traffic parked in front of my house, selling drugs. Yeah. I can't believe I did that. That's really quite silly. So there is a place you can go in the third world of this game to get turtle shells. And I think it looks like the grassy field near Karnak that you would have gone in the first world. But I don't know exactly where that is on the map. I know Karnak is on the map. I remember that because I explored it last time I played briefly. And said like, oh, I thought Karnak got eaten by the Void. And I had thought that. Good job, Kral. A little late to the party. You know what I should have been doing all along was the Holy Lance. Dumb of me. I should probably still be doing that. It's not like I need the chicken knife power. Cool neighbors. Good. Yeah, by and large right now I'm really happy with my neighbors. I will say, despite the mixed experiences in the previous neighborhood, there were lots of neighbors I really liked. It seems that the little description text in this game that shows the attributes of different equipment is... It doesn't give a lot of detail. Like, I'm sure the Angel Robe prevents poison. And Ferris just got attacked by the claws of a poison eagle. I'm pretty sure they would normally be poisoned. You don't have to like your neighbors, but having problems really brings them... Yeah, it does. Well, yeah, there's so many times you don't feel like you can do anything. Even if there's literally something criminal happening, your ability to do anything about it is limited. And you don't want to be a jerk. Usually. Mostly. I don't know. And then someone was talking about... At a thing I was at recently, someone was talking about this parent just wants to get their principal in trouble. And they took it as such an issue. And I was thinking, like, I kind of want to get my kid's principal in trouble. If I could find something that would get them in trouble, I would do it, because they're kind of a jerk. That's one of those things where I had a moment of, do you say things like that? Could I get in trouble for saying that? I don't know. I'm not saying I want to make things up to get someone in trouble. But there are people who are. It's like, I don't know. I don't mind working against that person, I guess I could say. Well, we're never gonna need turtle shells again, probably. Don't want your neighbors to hate you. No, I am glad. I have at least peaceful terms with all my neighbors, I think. Maybe they don't like me. I think they probably mostly do like me, but where did I park? Down here. Michael! So where is it here is where Karnak would have been? This looks like that grassland near Karnak, and Karnak's up here. So I think it's this. I think this light patch of grass is where the land turtles would have appeared in World 1. Not here. Probably didn't need to jump. Okay, turtles. Wouldn't it be funny if the turtles were all outside of Guido's cave? Because he's a turtle. Okay, where else could a turtle live? Here? This? Like there, so in World 1, there's like a light patch of grass. I probably don't need more turtle shells. I got so many before. Could it be here? Pretty close to Tool now. Tool is pretty close to where the turtles were in World 1. Oh, stole a healing staff. That's interesting. Not useful, but interesting. Oh, Tool's up there. Okay, I did something wrong. Is it right south of... Is it this tiny patch? No. I really felt like it was here. It'd be weird if it was... no, I checked this. Where are turtle shells in World 3? FF5, turtle shell, World 3. Peninsula southeast of where Tycoon once stood. Where Tycoon would be what? Here? Here's Tycoon. Southeast. Not really seeing a peninsula. This is, this is not a peninsula. But is this what they're referring to? No. Ooh, this Game FAQs thread happens to have a nice VegS third post in it. Very useful. Luminous robe. Actually, someone in this thread is calling attention to the small light patch. This feels like Peninsula Tower. Okay, it's not working. Have to look somewhere else. Calling this a peninsula is wrong. I don't know if there's an actual name for a landform that's a giant... I don't know. I guess it's an isthmus, if anything. But it's like a weird isthmus. Still not right. On the land bridge, starting down to Crescent. Well, it feels like I'm in the right place, but it's not working. Well, these are very weak enemies. Very weak, very old enemies. These are the right kind of enemies. These guys hang out with turtles. We need to be using alerts. Sirens. I think using Romeo's Ballad might be a little bit on the wasteful side here. Hey! You had a job interview on Thursday. FF came up. Oh, 6 was his favorite too. Okay, did you get talking about it? What a fun way to add a little conversation. The funny little things that can connect people, eh? Wow. You know, every so often I bring up Final Fantasy games. You know what? We used to have these things in one of my classes I deliver, called in-class exercises. In-class exercises. And so we started abbreviating them as ICE, which I know now means something different. Anyway, we had in-class exercise 1, in-class exercise 2, in-class exercise 3. And I remember one time getting to, like, in-class exercise 3 and saying to the class something like, it's the highest damage spell that a red mage can cast or something. And I was like, is there going to be, like, one nerd here that loves that joke and no one else knows what's going on? I think one time someone recognized that I was saying something nerdy, but didn't even know distinctly what it was. But I do end up with a lot of students who still play Final Fantasy XIV, for example. So, I mean, people are a little bit conversant in Final Fantasy stuff. Very rarely do I know people who know classic games. 2 or 3 years ago, actually, I think 3 years ago, I had a student who relished in knowing and loving old and obscure video games. And at the time, I had just bought an Asian copy, because that's where the physical was available, of the Romancing Saga remake for Switch. And it's, you know, basically a port of the Romancing Saga remake as it existed on PS2. Kind of a weird game. So it's a Switch port of a PS2 remake of a Super Famicom game. And when I mentioned this is what I'm playing, it's kind of weird, no one's going to know what it was. That student was so happy to tell me, hey, I know Romancing Saga, I can play it on this. And they brought out like an emulation portable of some kind. And they had Romancing Saga 1, but it was the Super Famicom version, which, Romancing Saga 1 was one of those games where, I guess you could say it about almost any Kawazu game. There were a lot of neat ideas, but not everything could be done. Like, it had a very incomplete and hard-to-access feeling about it that may or may not have mattered very much. I don't know. It's kind of funny owning 2 different versions of Romancing Saga 1, physically. There are probably not a lot of people who are into that. But I really liked that version, the one that in Japan they called it Minstrel Song. For us, for North America, they just called it Romancing Saga. Minstrel Song is a pretty neat subtitle for that game, actually. That game had some really neat things. I don't know if it was... I've never attempted to play the Japanese original, translated or otherwise. But... yeah. That game had really neat world building. The different... There were so many settlements in the game, and a lot of the game took place in settlements as opposed to overworld or dungeons. There wasn't really much in the way of overworld. Well, sort of. More like connected locations. But they made all of the settlements and, like, cultures feel unique. And not just... Although in some cases you could say it felt like they were porting Earth cultures. But not quite. Like, there was a hint of originality in what they were doing. The Glimmer system was very fun. Glimmering... I know that that's one of those controversial things about Saga, is how some games are really transparent in how you develop and learn abilities, and Saga has a lot going on under the hood that's basically a secret from everyone, arguably including the staff of the game. But when you get a technique and it's caused by kind of the heat of an intense moment in the game, and your character just does something amazing that you weren't expecting, that is pretty special. That is a good feeling when your character breaks out an amazing technique at the perfect time. Right now I'm just getting more turtle shells. They're kind of speculative. I don't think I'm likely to need that many more, unless I decide I need to succubus kiss everything. It may, if I do Omega, which I might, succubus kiss could end up being my principal offense. His defense is a bit high for it, but I also have means to reduce enemy defense, so... The other thing I can try to get imminently with try emphasized, is dark matter. Because I could repeatedly go through the sealed castle. I may as well do it after History Falls. And try and steal or drop dark matter from the X-Death Souls there. I think they drop it like consistently. And assuming they count as undead, and I've got the Apollo Harp and the Sage Staff, it would probably be pretty easy for this team, honestly. It's funny that I'm actually gaining levels on these terrible World 1 enemies. Do 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 do. Yeah, I think I should do Shinryu and Omega this year. I think Chemist blows them wide open enough that I got no excuse not to. And am I actually going to need more shells than this? I don't know, I kind of doubt it. Turtle shells, I mean, they're really useful for giving yourself immunities. When you go to a menu and you pick Coral Ring, it doesn't even say... Oh. Oh. Oh, okay, there's the thing. Negates poison, protects against poisoning. Okay. I was talking about not being able to read descriptions earlier. It's funny because there is room for 2 lines of text there, but they don't do it. I may try them, think I'll need to grind to level 60. I mean, that's not the worst thing. Then again, I know that your team is not the same as my team. It's been a while since I've done Omega and Shinryu. It's been a long while. Because, I mean, my last playthrough of this game that wasn't 4-Job Fiesta had to be 20 years ago. I've done 3 4-Job Fiestas before. Not for a few years. And, I know on one of them I tried Omega and Shinryu, and then I was like, I want to be done now. Never mind. Which seems a bit more like quitting than how I'm usually oriented. I don't want to do that. I've made a very big point to be anti-quit. So. Back in a bit. Okay. Wait a second. Yeah, okay. If I can afford coral rings now, I'll get 4 coral rings. And then if I choose to fight Leviathan, it'll be stupid. Ah, Sephiroth's theme. I am not 100% on what I'm looking for right now. Isn't it funny that you can sell a literal, like, legendary sealed weapon? It's kind of funny because I still find myself not really wanting to sell these things. They don't do anything for me, but I just don't want to. Whatever. I could still use one pair of Hermes shoes. You know what? I would be silly not to just go to the inn, right? And Gil. What a steal. Oh, I could have just rested there. And I would have liked to save before going in, but I forgot, and I'm not going to hassle about it. Oh. I guess I forgot that that was like a little transitory cave. This is fine, right? Oh yeah, gargoyles. This should kind of be no big deal by now. Uh-oh. Looks like chicken knife is on the menu. That's the thing people say, right? Oops. That was weird. That's not my favorite fight, ever. Oh, I couldn't even really tell that these waterfalls were the kind you move down, which is funny. It's been perfectly obvious in every other version of the game I've ever played. Maybe I should have the Dragoon... The shell. Oh, good. Just attack. And if we happen to run away, take that as the maybe good thing it is. I feel like our damage is really good, but this isn't working out super well. Isn't that funny? You can steal more than once. Because it moves. Huh. That was starting to get stressful. Okay. So Kryle's just straight up attacking with the chicken knife, meaning at any point she could choose to run away from a fight where she's attacking. Which I'm just okay with, really. That's so dumb that you get that there. Do. Well, my current setup is pretty awesome for the last few encounters. We'll see what happens when Kryle starts inevitably running away, which I really don't mind very much. I don't remember the gimmick to get this chest. It's probably not run into random enemy. I mean, I'm glad for the Protect Ring. Uh-oh, Berserker's out of MP. What's gonna happen now? I really like that Bars is just standing there, too. Super. Again, weird thing to be finding at an endgame treasure chest. Near endgame, not quite endgame. Powering up the chicken knife. The only one Bartz needs is Chemist. Trial needs Dragoon and Chemist. Lena needs Dragoon, just Dragoon. Varus just needs Chemist. Whatever. Oh, there's the 4th Reflect Ring I needed. That's good. Man, that defense ignoring property on the chicken knife is nice. Garbage. This staircase down is here because there are pitfalls on this screen and they send you down to a lower area, if I remember correctly. And this chest on the lower left has some pitfalls. Ow. I go all the way down. If I just avoided them, then I'm just amazing. Just, that's what that means. We're gonna have a lot of plumed hats. Uh-oh. That's so dumb. Okay. Good fight. Oops. Well, I've learned something this day. Okay. Oh. What I've learned is that a person can be smart for knowing they know nothing. That's interesting. I wonder where those pits go. So, the old effect reduces your level gradually over time, but pretty quickly. And the status effect formula, like most other things in this game, is based heavily on your level. Which means I was kind of expecting Romeo's Ballad to just stop working after a bit. I guess not. Spoke too soon. You can see how much Ferris's damage goes down, though, eh? That's actually why I had... Oh, look at that, Kaiser Knuckles. I made a big gambit last time I played of really wanting... Ooh. Ooh, that is nice. The Berserker had no shield that whole time? And I looked right at this and didn't think about it? That's weird. Is this chest also going to be trapped somehow? A lot of counters. That's not useful. Okay. I feel like there might be something else there in a hidden passage, actually. But I guess we're just going to be okay with that. That's a pretty good find for some teams, not for me. Okay, where do I go? Do I... I think I go down the holes. I did need to go down there. We get a tablet. And then there's a really good scene here where another demon boss shows up. I wonder if they designed a boss for this. He just basically has a bad time. Okay, so then you get to optionally fight Leviathan, quite optionally. I feel a little bit like we may as well, because we can sort of cheese it with this. Let's do that. I never put that on, that's silly. Yeah, I've been wearing quite suboptimal equipment for a little while now, haven't I? I think this is quite a bit better. We should be good for Leviathan, but... Well, let's heal a little. We don't need to heal that much. We're kind of hoping he's going to heal us. But we'll see. I should have turned down the battle speed. I'd like to capture this moment. Yeah. Okay. Wait, where's my controller? There we go. So this is now just buffing Trial and Lena. How... Hopefully holy damage works. Yeah, it does. This fight's a lot easier when you absorb water. In fact, having... Look at the whole team's paralyzed right now. Paralyzed except for the one person in the air. I didn't actually pack mix. So besides attacking, our offense options are rather limited. Yeah, Aqua Breath being non-elemental is kind of funny. We still have an elixir, that's okay. This is nice. Nice, refreshing water. Easy peasy. And another reflect ring. We don't need that. Okay. So... interesting. We're done that. We really don't want to do the Great Sea Trench, so I think we just won't. Need to do some shopping. Need at least one more Hermes shoes. Well, let's I keep forgetting where Uza is, Sealed Castle. Where it is. Here. Okay. So we can go in here. We can... How effective are we going to be against an X Death Soul? I mean, if it casts level 5 Death, I don't know if it has level 5 Death, but if it does, we're going to have a very bad time. Oh. Cast Death. Okay. That was pretty good. That seems kind of attainable. I guess if I had an angel ring... If I had an angel ring, I could avoid that, but I can't spring for a whole party's worth of angel rings right now. I don't think any of these matter at all. Clockwise. Counterclockwise. We're just gonna do it so that there's 3 consecutive weapons left at the end to satisfy our own compulsions. Naturally. I wonder if RPG Haste eventually got and enjoyed the Gaia Bell. I imagine if you had Geomancers, which I've never had for Forge Out Fiesta, you'd be quite thankful for that. Okay, so this here is what? The Masamune, the bow, the fire whip thing. Yeah. And none of these do anything for me, but, you know, now I got 3 weapons at the bottom. They're just gonna stay there forever. It's gonna be great. I think that this game design was really cool. When you think about this game being new, and people showing up and talking about how, you know, everyone was going to pick different weapons that suited their play styles and everything. Like, it was just a really good design for the third world of this game. I don't want to have to repeat this. I didn't even need the weapons. There we go. How much dark matter do we have? 9. That's not especially good. Wouldn't it be great if I could grind against the X-Death Souls? Let's try it for a bit. Maybe instead of Protect Rings, I should put the... Hermes shoes on. How's everyone's damage? 2,000. Oh, I only have 2 Hermes shoes. I forgot about that. I need money. If I could find some stuff to sell, that'd be good. How much do, like, random overworld encounters drop? $1,000. Huh. Well, that's not the worst. Maybe I'll go back to the turtles. How much do the turtles drop? It's gonna be less. 300. It's less, but it's, you know, multifunctional. And the reason I'm thinking it's less is I'm like, back when you first got to Karnak, you would buy a rod for $750, right? So I was like, it's gonna be less than buying a rod. Like, that was only worth 200. That's not super great. Well, maybe I should just sell, like, almost every shield. Any shield that's not Aegis or Elemental, there's zero chance I'm ever going to use it again. That's pretty good money. I have a lot of plumed hats, I know that. Some of these have, like, niche uses, and I'm like, do I really want to get rid of them? And I should. It's just, I don't know. Okay. One more Hermes shoes? And then I can get one in the void. I think. I don't remember where. And then the rest of the money I can spend on consumables for mixing or healing. Or eating. Or nothing. That's it. I don't really have that much of a supply. If a void grind were necessary, it would make me pretty sad, actually. And I guess the X-Death Soul doesn't really drop money. Do I need, like, anything else, really? I can just go. Probably should just... 1,500, 2,000, 6,000... What's Kryl do when she actually hits? Okay, this is better. Putting Hermes shoes on Bart's was certainly a good move. Oh, Kryl's is really good. Oh, we've learned a valuable lesson today. Well, death can be reflected. I don't think Banish can. And if this heals it to full, then that's just going to be sucky. But let's try. Well, we do more than that much damage in a turn, don't we? Oh, banish can be reflected. Oh, there's still that. Well, it's probably a little faster with the Hermes. Yeah, I'll leave one on, whatever. How much dark matter am I gonna need? That's pretty great. And that 7 ABP as well is very likely to result in a couple more mastered jobs fairly quickly. That's a lot of missing. This doesn't bode amazingly well for us. Okay, Sage Staff does full damage from back row, we've just learned. Okay. The loading time is kind of getting noticeable. I don't want to go too many cycles without a save. First of all, because people keep dying. Something can go wrong pretty quickly, but it's every time I make a configuration change, too, when I find a more optimal way to set up the team, like putting Ferris in the back row, like, that can actually make a difference. And if I have to load my save and go back to it, I'll probably forget to do that, so... Okay, Chemist, Dragoon, Chemist, Oh, isn't that weird? Reflected Sage Staff? And it actually hits the enemy? How strange. Oh no, the Apollo Harp gets reflected. Too bad, really, because, I mean, this guy being a dragon, if I knew that, I could have attacked Ferris and maybe done some substantial damage. But we learned this guy doesn't count as undead, so there's not really great cheese against this guy. I know that Blue Mage has some options, but my team doesn't. Oh, weird. Thought you said we had a preemptive. I should have done that with any other character. Someone who does less than 6,000 damage. Okay. Oh, come on. I don't have very many Phoenix Downs. I need something to get some money. I could sell a few Dragon Fangs, I guess. Which is bizarre, but true. I think I need more Phoenix Downs for the end of the game. I don't want to live in fear, but... How many Dark Matters? 19. It can be the case that, you know, there are your principal offense against Omega or Shinryu. But I have other characters with some useful abilities, so I don't know. Oh. I like to think about those people who are confused at the end of battle and the steps that have to happen after the battle is done. When the party's like, hey, snap out of it, or they're grabbing them, shaking them by their shoulder. Dude, you keep attacking me. Sorry, I was confused. A natural response to confusion is to attack your ally. How many dark matters are enough dark matters? I don't know how many I'm necessarily going to need. It'd be nice if this guy who brought the pot would just leave the pot there. That's pretty great. I wonder why it's Flea. Like, did we win or did we not? Let's at least go until we got another Mastered Chemist, I suppose. I'm pretty nervous about my Phoenix Downs, but I don't want to die 19 times, so I don't know. Maybe it's no big deal. We don't die that much, but we are going to see more death effects and whatnot, right? It's funny because I kind of picked on the game for putting Phoenix down as a treasure item in the last dungeon. But it is actually kind of valuable. Like, this game doesn't throw money at you. And Phoenix Downs costs 1,000? Something? And despite having a squad entirely comprised of princesses, nobody wants to sell you items cheaper. Oh, that's no good. The power of chemistry. More of the power of chemistry. This is Bart's pretty much soloing my whole team. Oh, that doesn't count as a physical attack, of course. Okay. That was good. That's how it's supposed to go. Basically. How did he go before Lena? How did... What? There was actually no reason to revive Kryl there, really. Because we don't gain any experience and she doesn't need the job points. I didn't really think about that. dragons are jerk. I was hoping that was still going to target Ferris. I don't know if that was coincidence or what. I guess it doesn't matter. Cool. I don't want to, given how fast... Oops. Oh. Okay, it didn't matter. How fast the job point earning goes here, at least in the fights that go well. I am disinclined to reconfigure everything after Ferris masters Chemist, and just wait until Lena also masters Dragoon. That's my thought. The time I would take reconfiguring it would probably be about the same as how much time it takes to earn those extra 25 job points. Could be 4 fights, right? So. And this is the one that gives 7. Like, this is the better fight to get here for many reasons. Not ideal, but it'll be fine. Let's hope for 4 fights with X-Death Souls. Really, if we're being pedantic, I'll need 2 more fights with Aztec Souls and then 1 other fight. That's what we're hoping for here. I make distinctions like that a lot. I did it in writing on one occasion recently, and it's just... I live with children who, not my oldest so much, but the other 2, really care about just being right about things, even when it really doesn't matter. You might know that phenomenon. I don't know. That didn't matter too much, except that Bartz is the best damage dealer here. There you go. One more fight and we've done it. We've done something. I don't know what. But, you know, this is a useful form of goal setting, if nothing else, I think. And we'll have a pretty good amount of dark matter, probably 40-ish. That's pretty good, right? Oh, she's probably going to use Revive. That's stupid. Whatever. Maybe it'll be useful. It's going to be useful. How great. How great. Oh, that wasn't even a Master Dragoon. Well, whatever. Okay, so Ferris is done. Bartz needs Chemist. He's already level 3. Lena needs just Dragoon. Trial needs just Chemist. So it looks like we turn her into a Bard. I don't even know what we benefit from, frankly. I don't think that harps and axes increases the damage. Maybe we should use this. Meanwhile, Bartz is gonna turn into the Chemist. Singing Chemist. Kryl needs what? Chemist. Oh, and she's at 4. Well then, you be the Chemist. You be the Berserker. Prevents confusion. It would be almost kind of nice to get another one of those, huh? Bartz needs Chemist. Lena only needs Dragoon. Kryl only needs Chemist. Ferris needs nothing. So, 3 of them have Master Dragoon? I didn't realize that. Okay. Okay, cool. We're kinda, in a way, almost done with job leveling. Alright, how about our Dark Matter quotient? 34? Okay, okay. Well, this has been boring, but productive. Let's get out of here. I just gave them those setups, but I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm going to leave. What I should do, though, is find out some kind of get-rich-quick scheme. Maybe I will... I should have had the Lemia Tiara on way earlier to negate the confusion so much. Well, maybe I should actually sell all the weapons that I can never use. At least the ones that have value. Which is a little sad, but better than grinding. The Assassin's Dagger could still actually be valuable. In fact, most of the knives can, in certain niche scenarios. Nothing this week will ever be useful again. This could technically be useful. Okay. Ogre Killer, probably not. Battle Axe, probably not. These ones are like, maybe they could actually help. A bit sad. We might actually want those. This is trash, but doesn't have any value, so kind of like, why not? I guess we'll keep that. I guess we'll keep that. Jaunty Green Cap. These have different stat boosts, like they could in certain cases matter, but I kind of doubt it, but I guess we'll keep it. And I guess we're not keeping our initial stuff, even though that's fun in a lot of games. Diamond Armor has lightning resistance. It could theoretically be useful. I don't think the Luminous Robes can ever be useful. Okay. That's about as good as it's gonna get, I think. Let's go grab one more Lamia Tiara. It might be nice to have the confusion resistance, maybe. It might also just generally be a pretty good piece of headwear for those non-martial, non-spellcasting people. If that's a distinction. And I don't think any of these are going to matter that much. It's much lower. Well, it's not as good for the chemist as it is for the bard. For the bard, it's a pretty good choice. Alright. But maybe it'll come in handy. Who knows? I'm not planning anything in particular. Better. Better again. We do like these. These can actually matter in the final fights, right? Some of these are useful too. These have proven very useful. These are useful. These can be useful. Maybe there's not that much else we need. Okay, let's try it with this. Do I want more Phoenix Downs? You know what I always say. Better late than early. Okay. That is a real item stock. The last picture I took was item stock, but now it's like, we're good now. I feel fairly confident in what I'm doing at this point. I can't even think of a piece of equipment that would really benefit me that I don't have. Which, that should be a good sign. I don't know if this is generally good dungeoneering equipment. Pretty good. I don't think we're doing way better than this. Okay. So let's go to the Void and see how it goes. The first boss is a weakness shifting boss, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it? I don't... It's in the forest. Maybe it doesn't matter. So for that, we probably won't want the Holy Lance. Maybe it makes sense to switch to the chicken knife. And if we're not fighting undead, the Sage Staff doesn't do much for us, but the Thief Chance gives you a chance to steal. And when you're concerned with, oh goodness, consumables and whatnot, it makes a sort of... There is a certain utility in it. Okay. Don't remember this area super well. I've never seen it on this version. Got another sword I can't use after just selling all of them. I might have to stop at the first save point based on the text I got, and that's okay. I thought I would get further. This ended up being like a super preparatory, super boring play session. I really thought I was going to get to the save point right before Omega. Maybe I still will. There's a couple... Where's the first save point in here? Oh, some of them are tough. I've had some struggles with Twintania before. Twintania. I always said Twintania, like Tanya, like a person's name. But it's apparently supposed to be a joke like Titania, like the Queen of the Fairies, which is funny because I do not think that Twintania resembles a fairy queen very much. I didn't stock up on tents or cottages at all. I guess it probably doesn't matter too much. After all, this team doesn't really require any magic points, so... We are... Oh, I was just going to talk about how amazingly effectively we were locking down the randoms when suddenly Romeo's Ballad didn't quite work. Uh-oh. Oh, weird. It's funny getting so many high potions and Phoenix Downs right now, right after I bought up to, like, 90. Oh, a dark matter. How nice. Maybe I'll really appreciate it. I think I probably over-prepared, as I do, frankly. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. One of these is a chest, and the way forward is the left. We'll remember that. We might be in and out. I don't know. Like I said, I think I'm over-prepared. And I don't mind fighting a lot of the randoms, because the levels will serve us well. Not that we gain massive amounts of levels until close to the end. And even then, like I said, the level curve of this game slows down considerably in the 40s. Maybe even a little earlier. It's got a funny balance to it. Oops. Elixirs is a drop, that's nice. That is interesting, but not useful. Axes are still missing a fair bit. I guess I hadn't been noticing, really. This area has no encounters, I forgot about that. Can you not play the piano? No. It is frozen in time. That's nice. Was the fire animating? It is. Okay, so here's where we fight the first boss. I think their name is Callista Fairy. Maybe that's pronounced really badly. Maybe it's more like Guy Fieri, I don't know. Well, these enemies seem like a bit of a pain. Normally you would cast Faraga and they would vanish. That's what I remember. I don't have any, correct me if I'm wrong, any fire elemental weapons. Or even fire elemental attacks, I don't think. There's no flame spear in this game. Oh, fungus. Always using webs. You know, that's the one thing that fungus is famous for. And only fungus. There's no other being that you associate with webs. Right? Farfarello. Maybe it's just because I hadn't made much use of the thief knife in this playthrough. I mean, you can't until nearly the end. But it really does seem like it's helping meet a lot of my consumable needs. In a way that's really unfortunate, given that I was kind of struggling with money not very long ago. Okay, in case I run into that boss, I think I need to... Oh, she already has the chicken knife. Okay, great. I don't remember precisely where that boss is, so... But soon. And then, yeah, I think I'll have to stop at that save point before Omega. A bit sadly. I don't know if I'm actually ready to fight Omega if I even want to. But I have, like, a plan-ish. A set of, basically, mixes to do to render myself mostly immune to Omega's moveset. That's the hope. There's nothing that inflicts like it would have been nice to have something a little bit Mighty Guard-ish. Like, oh, I missed a chest. I'm gonna go back for it. What I was hoping for was something that would give me haste and some of the defensive properties. But I can't just imagine up anything I want for the game, can I? So I switched my Dragoon from using jump to using attack, which means it'll attack faster. But jump only gets its damage bonus if you're using spears, so damage isn't going down. However, because she's using the chicken knife, she does actually have the chance to just run away instead. Which I kind of decided when I switched to that. I am just willing to accept that. I should probably be running for some of these fights anyway. Running sucks sometimes. Like, I hate when it fails. Wasted turns never feel good. There's one. That's good. That wasn't a wasted turn. Oh my goodness. A Dragon Fang and I literally couldn't have any more. Chicken Knife was a very good idea on the developer's part. Like, it's funny, right? I think. That'll be useful. And again, it kind of sucks when you're getting these items that actually are useful, but in the present circumstances, not. Oh, that's terrible timing. Okay, this is turning out to be just stupid, isn't it? Am I done? Am I done this area? I think, is that bottom tree the end? I guess it is. Yeah. I think that might have been the chicken knife going off. Okay. We will heal up a little. I think we're reasonably equipped for this. Uh-oh, it's another naked woman. Where are they keeping them all? There are tricks you can do here with Reflect, if I recall correctly. Not really going to matter for me, I don't think. Oh, so Drain is a counter. Okay, if Romeo doesn't work on her... then... we will do this. Okay. Oh my goodness, that was absurdly easy. Okay, I think this takes me to the area right before Omega, and there is a save point around here, so I might be done. It feels a bit stupid. Like a bit of a bad play session, but whatever. Oh, these guys are jerks, aren't they? There's our answer. Oh, I didn't know that was there. Could have saved me some money. Okay, they're really not that bad. Dragon Fang. The tent didn't fully recover us, but that's okay. Still doing pretty good for potions and stuff. Yeah, I think it just makes sense to be done. Can you Omega at these levels? I bet you can. I'm not doing it right now, but I'm ready. Did I just save? Okay. Gonna be done. I'm gonna really try next time. We'll get it. Thanks for joining me. This was boring. Sorry.